I've been having trouble getting on, so here I am finally. I wanted to talk to you guys because I'm in the middle of offering a series about love, about sacred love, about living from love sourced from within instead of being dependent on receiving love from the outside. And there's still a few more, couple more planned for drop-in soul shift sessions, basically led meditation and ways to make shifts from the inside out to be supported within, have a solid place to stand and levers to move in ways that we choose, tools that help us perceive, choose, and act from the inside out. So let me check because last time I did one of these, it stopped after like 15 seconds. So let me see. I seem to be still going there, but not at the same time as I am here. So just going to trust. I'll just trust and start babbling along. So I wanted to talk to you guys. I've been doing these special, I call them being the love you want. And I've been doing these for about a dozen years or more um, at each February. And they build on my usual inner soul system, but it's specialized around love because um, love is so important to most every one of us. And because this is a slightly different way to access it than just the usual kinds of meditation that I do. So I'm going to talk to you today, finally, about kind of an overview of why I believe this is important. I've said this every year, I say it differently, and this is kind of, I have some notes here about what I said this year, and I'm going to share with you. So, this is called Fulfilled from Within in Sacred Love, is the focus. And I'm talking, of course, from my own lived experience, and you have a different one. So, if you just want to notice what I'm saying and see if any of it might fit you, that'd be great. So from outside myself, I've noticed that there's no prince on a white horse coming to get me, coming to fulfill me or rescue me. And there's no princess who can magically make my life complete. And there's no fairy godmother, no god of any flavor or mother figure who's going to rearrange the world to meet my every need. And that includes my need for love. But I do need it and I do enjoy it and it does fulfill me. So that leaves me in a little bit of a quandary because no one from outside me is going to do it perfectly. They won't know me or see me or hear me or center me in my needs all the time or even most of the time, right? I mean, I have people who love me and they love me well. And it works a lot because I'm fulfilled more and more within. And then I can take what they give and enjoy it, savor it. It's like icing on the cake. But when I go awry and I'm looking for them to connect to me, for them to um, meet my needs for intimate, and by that I mean real for the body kind of love connection, then I get controlling, I get needy, and I get annoying. And I've said this about validation with my partner of over 30 years. Actually, just today, it's 30 years and 9 months. Um, I said, the more I need validation, the more I need my partner to show up for me and listen to me and support me, the more I need it, the less I get it. The more I need it, the more he's running in the other direction. But when I'm full and self-validating and my needs are met from heaven and earth and from within my own soul, then he can't stop validating me and supporting me and seeing me and etc. So it's really kind of a fascinating thing that the more my needs are met from within, the more I receive from the outside. So anyway, back to the script here. Um, so nobody's going to save me from myself or my looping thoughts or my habits that weigh me down or my challenges that I haven't mastered. I can't rely on anyone to save me or help me all the time. Sometimes, sure, friends and family and my partner are helpful, but not all the time. And so what I found is that I had more and I have less now, but still I have them, these romantic dreams, these fairy tale fantasies that many of us have grown up into. They're really common and almost ubiquitous in our society. They're really attractive and sometimes for some of us really even addictive. We have fantasies about how love should be and what it should look like, and that we need somebody from outside ourselves to do it for us. But that's not really realistic, and it's not reliably available, as I've said, except sometimes during the infatuation stage or the honeymoon stage, it can seem, it can feel like it is or almost is needing, really showing up for us. But that is not sustainable for humans. That's my experience and that's my belief. And, I've been working with people one on one and in groups for more than 20 years now. And um, I haven't found anyone that says, oh, yeah, like my romantic notions are working. So, anyway, I was very attached to the promise of ideal love outside myself. I was really attached. That's how I wanted it. And I'm really tenacious. And so it took really enormous pain and loss and betrayal, experience, suffering for me to finally accept reality, the one that I'm talking about above, and be willing to shift. It wasn't easy for me. It was hard for me. It was painful. There was a lot of crying. There's like literally 6 months of crying every day. I'm not kidding. Until I was willing to say, I'm willing to accept the love that I have with my partner because we'd had a mess in our relationship and it really upended my cart. And I realized that like I could let go of him and the great life that we have. And it's been over 20 years since this happened. I mean, we've just had such an amazing life together. Amazing life together. But I was truly, truly like, should I let go of this person as a partner because I want my romantic notions? It's really, really attached. And I fortunately and happily did choose to stay in this relationship and let go of my romantic notions. And I'm so glad I did because I have a different life because of it. It's better on the other side, but you couldn't have told me that. You couldn't have told me that. It was really hard to let go. But anyway, from my perspective, we live in a world saturated with advertising and social narratives that quietly promise, and sometimes they scream, that we'll be complete when we buy this, we achieve that, or we find the one. Books, movies, songs, stories from friends and family all echo the same idea. When you find the one, you'll be whole. And here's the paradox I eventually discovered about this. It's true, but it's not true in the way that most of us understand it. It's not true in the way I understood it for the first 40 years of my life. So what I found, and I'm going to talk about like spirit, God, divine, and that's, a lot of people think that they've tried that, and maybe they haven't, maybe they haven't, maybe you haven't, maybe you haven't. Um, there's a way to access direct spiritual experience, blessings, presence that really works for a lot of people. And I wasn't able to dance with the divine um, in ways that were so consistent and reliable and count onable um, and deliciously marinating as I am in the last I could do doing these decades in the last 20 some years. Um, it's really a blessing. So what now that I introduced it, I'm going to say that I'm still on this ongoing quest to continually experience myself and my world in love, and increasingly experiencing myself as whole and complete, which is odd, right? As I break and I'm old, and this and that, like, and my life is continually more limited. My mind doesn't work like it used to. I mean, I could go on, but I am actually experiencing love as well as feeling whole and complete more because of the capacity to find and experience and delight in the one that we're told about. But it's not the person, it's the dance with heaven and earth, it's the dance with the divine. And in that, I find the heavenly reality, this the spiritual truth that I'm whole and complete spiritually, even as the physical is, you know, up and down and all around. So this is really a divine mystery. It's this whole experiencing love is a divine mystery, and in that way it works, as opposed to thinking that it's a role to be fulfilled by a single person, or no matter how great they are, or that some person can support and help me learn. Yes, can they? Yes, they can support me and help me learn when it works. They can add delight to my life or difficulty to my life or both. They can walk us alongside me, even at, snuggle on a cold night. But placing them at the center of my life, um, making them responsible for feeling love, validation, meaning, purpose, fulfillment, that's too heavy a load, I believe. It's too hard, it's too much for one person or even one family or even a whole community. I found that the long and hard way to access love is an inside job. It's not always so easy. It took me a while and it keeps opening. That's the thing. It keeps opening, just like our relationships with each other when they're delicious. My relationship with the divine and the experience of bliss, of oneness, of the deliciousness of presence and the presence from the divine are quite amazing. Um, and so this love thing is an inside job through my soul into spirit. So trying to outsource that to others, I believe, is a reliable prescription for struggle and for disappointment and for heartache. I don't want to be a downer about this. This is good news. It's good news because we all know this. Most everyone has loneliness, whether in or out of relationship. Most everyone is wanting more validation, more experience of oneness in or out of a relationship. And this is the big fat secret. Single people are like, oh, those married people are fulfilled. It's like, mm, not in the long run. I don't find it. Maybe you have a different experience, and that's great. So I just wonder if any of this resonates with you. I'd love to hear, read your share and interface. Um, because in most of my life, Uh, I lived in ongoing need for love and attention, validation, care, connection, delivered in very specific ways. And I used to complain about it a lot. Like, this person isn't showing up for me. This person isn't listening to me. And it's not like I don't still complain sometimes when I don't get it how I want it, but it's so much less. And I was never consistently fulfilled. I got glimpses in love with people, but I was never fulfilled. Um, I didn't know it, but like there was nothing wrong with me, and there was nothing wrong with them, and there was nothing wrong with our relationship. It's just that I had been trained, programmed to be looking for love in all the wrong places, everywhere, anywhere, except within my own soul. So when I finally came down to earth, as I told you about 20 years ago, accepting the physical reality and how people work and opening to the heavenly reality here and now inside myself, everything began shifting and continues to deepen, as I said, become more delightful, even after decades of practice. As I said, even more delightful. It's not the only thing that happens in practice. There's also uncomfortable things that come up to clear. There's also uncomfortable things to perceive and handle. But overall, the delight that I experience in my soul and therefore in my life is beyond what I expected. So what changed for me is I can find the flavor. Oh, so this is so cool. So this is what's great about literally the being the love you want work. The regular practice that I do does a whole lot of stuff, and I get like wonderful oneness experience and wonderful validation experience and wonderful sacred truth experience, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, love, joy, peace, and all that. Um, but the being the love you want work, one of the cool things about it is that I get to find and savor the actual flavor of love that I'm really hungry for, that really does it for me, that is like the vitamin C I haven't had enough of, or the vitamin B12 that I need more of to be healthy and happy. I can get the actual flavor, um, savoring the flow of sacred love, increasingly centered in like what I need. Just like, when uh, something happens and our body needs more fruit or vegetables or broccoli or like whatever it is, like we can fine tune what I need. I can fine tune it and get that. And that's really extraordinary. And then I can share that love with others. Like I can fill up with it and overflow with it, and then others can be in that blessing as well with me. In ease and grace, like not from trying or striving or doing much of anything, but just the overflow of spiritual abundance in my own system without draining me or um, damaging me or having me just being disloyal to myself. I can share love. So I can access love here and now with what is without trying to get it from or through them. Like that was my old way. And when I'm hungry, rah, right? Like it's just like I want it and I want it like this. And that just spirals in the wrong direction in my experience. So if as I said, like with my partner, if I'm chasing the validation or the care, it's not like my partner isn't not giving it to me because he's mean. He's not giving me because maybe he doesn't have it, or maybe I'm being annoying. It's annoying when I'm like, give me this now in this flavor in this way. That's just like, who wants that? That nobody wants that. So I choose love enough to want to do what it takes to enjoy it, to be it, to live it, to share it. And I'm really passionate about this, which is, a big part about why I do what I do. Um, and I personally do and would move heaven and earth to live this kind of love inside out. Yeah, I'm passionate about it. So I wonder, are you? Are you passionate about love and being it and enjoying it and receiving it and giving it? Um, uh, if not, like, what is it that you are passionate about that's fulfilling you? So to to kind of change tack just a little bit to give a context, I deeply desire to live in spiritual abundance and overflow, and that's my practice. In the living rivers of water that flow out from me, um, and enjoying this consciously in my soul. This is not a physical thing. These spiritual blessings, this is not a physical thing. There's a lot of confusion about that in the world, I believe, about the spiritual promises, the spiritual gifts, the spiritual fruit, the spiritual blessings are spiritual. I find them experienced in my soul very consistently, and from there out into the world. So when I'm in that abundance and overflow of spirit, then wherever I go, whatever I do, whether I'm with someone or not, love is not scarce. The spiritual blessings are not scarce in my soul. And then no matter what is happening in my day, week, month, year, whatever's happening in the world, no matter if I feel up or down, or if I'm winning or losing the game of life, or the world is going upside down, or if I feel good or bad, or if I feel like I look appealing or not, people are going to like me. I can still experience that I'm worthy and belong in love without having to wring it out of somebody. And I found from this place, beautiful fruit begins to flourish naturally. And freedom replaces control over time, and ease replaces effort over time, and attraction replaces repulsion over time. Like I was saying with my partner, like the more I need it, he's just like, right? Um, uh, you know, bye. Uh, Whereas when I'm full and overflowing, it's like, yeah. Spiritual focus replaces physical fixation. Same thing. Trying to get it from the outside, physically fixated as opposed to the inside, spiritual focus. And this fruit is real and it's delicious. Um, so over the last couple decades, I've learned and practiced this different way of relating to love and relationships. And this really works for me. Um, it's really quite extraordinary to be resourced from within. And it works for a lot of people I know. I share this and I know other people who do somewhat of the same work. And so I'm starting to close. Yeah, I'm starting to close. That's a lot of talking out of me. I just want to say that I've been sharing this perspective of the being the love you want for over a dozen years, and it's with this intention. It's about that more of us can stop waiting and hoping and pleading at a closed door, wanting to be loved, wanting to be cared about, wanting to be connected, and start noticing and choosing the open door that might be behind us. And in that open door, which is always here, if we can be willing to look, and I could cross that threshold And that doorway leads right into the river of life, right into the river of love. And I choose to live in that love and to share that love with all my relations and to love continue and let that love continually reshape my world. And I believe this is available for most people if we're willing. And that's, it's part of what I do, is to share that the way in the soul to the open door, to the river of life. So here's the point. It serves me to drop looking out there to meet my deepest needs and to keep learning to receive spiritually here within my own soul. And for me, this isn't theory. It's not theory. It's not words. It's not a menu. And I never get the food delivered. I get the food delivered. It's real for me. And it's about life overflowing abundantly. Lived in love, and that's real. Love that's real and embodied and practical. Because from here, I can show up full. So that's what I wrote this year about the power of being the love you want. And like I said, I have a couple more um, opportunities to experience some of this coming up. Please come as my guest. You just can come on Zoom. Will take your full attention. But the idea is to learn to consciously come more into the soul experience. And I like to say that's like learning to ride a bicycle. It's not academic. It's not what we think about. You can't read it in a book and it's done. It's a live experience, which is why I do it live. So there should be information written in the about this live thing on Facebook. And I will also be putting some information below, theoretically. See how it comes out. All right. Thank you so much for listening. And now I have to shut this off.